Grades.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Glasgow City Council meeting. I would ask that you would stand so we can have our pledge to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the
flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. If you'll remain standing, Councilman Chastity Lowry will lead us in our invocation. Chastity.
If we could bow our heads, please. Dear gracious and heavenly Father, dear Lord, we lift up your name this evening and thank you for the many blessings that you bestow upon us. In this season, Lord, we know that it can be very difficult for people, but we just want to always remember the great gift that you've given to us in Jesus. Dear Lord, be with us this evening as we go about the business of the city, and we thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
And you may be seated. Now we'll ask Clerk Cashin, first of all, to call the roll.
Kirkpatrick?
Yes, ma'am.
Trigg?
Here.
Norris?
No.
Shoemaker?
Here.
Neal?
Here.
Wilkinson?
Here.
Bennell?
Present.
Burris?
Here.
Lowry?
Here.
That's everyone.
All right, thank you all for being here tonight. We're going to move forward, and you had, at the end of last week, you had the agenda proposed for tonight. If you had a chance to look over it, I would entertain a motion that we proceed using that particular agenda you were presented with.
Motion, Bennell.
Is there a second?
Second, Norris.
Is there a discussion on that particular agenda? There being none, I'll call the question. All in favor of proceeding using the agenda you were given ahead of time, indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So we will proceed tonight using that agenda. And the first item on that agenda is to approve the minutes of our council meeting that we had back on November the 10th. You've had a chance to look over those, the presentation. We want to put them into the record, so I would entertain a motion that we approve those.
Motion.
Okay, from Councilman Kirkpatrick. Is there a second?
Second, Bennell.
Okay, is there any discussion on the minutes from November the 10th? There being none, then I will call the question. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. So the minutes are now officially in the record for the City of Glasgow from November the 10th. We have one of our favorite things to do is to swear in some new first responders, and we have, I'm going to call Fire Chief Lucas Tinsley to the podium, and then I'll move down to the podium, and you will get to meet our two new fire first responders. Chief Tinsley.
Good evening. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you tonight and honoring two of Glasgow Fire Department's newest members, Jax Cooper and Chase Dial. I would like to thank the family, loved ones, and friends of these young men for their support and the sacrifices they're about to make as these two begin a role of service to those in need. They will need your support throughout their career. Mr. Mayor, I present to you for swearing in and pinning probationary firefighters Jax Cooper and Chase Dial.
Honest with you, I did not. I usually do research to figure out who's going to. But if you want to have them, you want to come up here one at a time? Okay. And who's going to do the pinning? Are you Mom?
I am.
Oh, you're going to be safe for sure. Come on over here.
Okay.
First thing I want to do is to welcome you. And what is your name, ma'am? Shelley. Shelley, good to see you. And you must be Jax Cooper. All right. Well, what we want to do is we want to swear you in, and we're going to have the pinning ceremony here because we're tickled to death to have you as a part of something we're very proud of, the Glasgow Fire Department, okay? If you will raise your right hand, I will read to you the oath, okay? I, Jax Cooper, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of this Commonwealth and the Constitution of the United States, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky, so long as I continue a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of firefighter for the city of Glasgow according to law. And I do further solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, I, being a citizen of this United States, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state nor out of it, nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending. So help me God. Do you agree with those words? Well, congratulations. I want to tell you officially, welcome to the Glasgow Fire Department. Now with the penny. He's got, I don't know if he's let you practice or not. Doing all right over there, Jax? This is the big one right here. Let's give him a round of applause. Shake your hand. All right, I'm going to give you, there's 4 for you to sign and give us. Special time for all of us. All right, we have, up next, we have Chase Dial. Chase, who's going to be your pen oar? 3 pen oars, okay, all right. All right, those are the pens. If you want to go ahead and do those real quick, I'll read the oath after you get those taken care of. No, that's okay. No, that's okay. It's a, you know, being a firefighter is a very important and prestigious position, and we want to take the time to properly have you sworn in and made a part of the Glasgow Fire Department. And I know I'm not even looking at it, but I can tell you that Chief Tinsley is swelling up pretty proud to have you joining the Glasgow Fire Department. Well, that was fast. Well, now I'm going to ask you to raise your right hand, if you don't mind, Chase. And I'm going to read this oath and let you listen to it and respond to my question at the end. I, Chase Dial, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of this Commonwealth and the Constitution of the United States, and be faithful and true to the Commonwealth of Kentucky so long as I continue a citizen thereof, and that I will faithfully execute to the best of my ability the office of firefighter for the city of Glasgow according to law. And I do further solemnly swear that since the adoption of the present Constitution, I, being a citizen of this United States, have not fought a duel with deadly weapons within this state, nor out of it, nor have I sent or accepted a challenge to fight a duel with deadly weapons, nor have I acted as a second in carrying a challenge, nor aided or assisted any person thus offending. So help me God. Do you agree with that statement that I just read, Chase? Well, congratulations. Thank you for becoming a part of something we love around here, the Glasgow Fire Department. Thank you, sir. All right. Got that ink pen back there? Here, Chase. Sign this 4 times and bring it back up there, and I'll execute. Chief, anything else you want to say? What they've executed, okay? We have a little patting on the back here to take care of right now. Guy I graduated from high school with. What does he want? Okay, Eddie Furlong is here. Eddie is the Parks and Recreation Director, and sometimes we just like to talk about some good things. And Eddie, I'm ready to hear from you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me tonight, Mayor, Council. I'm passing around some awards that we won last month. So we are members of the Kentucky Recreation Park Society, and they have their annual conference every year in November. This past year, the City of Glasgow and the City of Glasgow Parks and Rec, more importantly to me, we racked up. We walked away with several awards. So we won the Facility Award for Class 3 for Beaver Creek Park and Osheltuck Softball Complex. That's always been one of our crown jewels, and we're very proud of that. And this committee, or this group, felt the same way as we did. We also won Outstanding Maintenance Department for Class 3. It's a new award for the group, and we're always super proud of our guys. We're small in numbers, but we do a lot of work, and they stepped up to the plate and won that award this year. On top of that, I won the Presidential Citation Award from the President of KRPS, just from some help that I did on the board. And then we surprised the mayor. We nominated him for the Public Official Award, and he was the only one in the state that won that award this year. So that was a great thing for us to see him come up, and he was just proud of us. He was there to sponsor us, and then we surprised him as well. So that was always a fun thing for us.
You tricked me.
We did. We tricked him. He thought he was just coming up there to support us, and when they called his name, he just looked over and like, you guys have been up to something. So
It was a proud moment for the city of Glasgow, because you can see the respect that our Parks and Rec Department has among. That's a huge, well-attended get-together, and they all know who Glasgow is, and they all know the strength of our Parks and Rec, and they certainly were very in agreement with those awards needed to be given to our Parks and Rec.
yeah, thank you. We appreciate it very much. So it's always good to have a pat on the back.
And the maintenance department, did you talk about the maintenance department? A number of them got to come up there and be
We did.
recognized
So
too.
all the maintenance department, with the exception of one, were able to attend the event with us and have dinner, and it was just a great night for our whole
Yeah.
department.
It's a big operation. It's a smooth operation, and the awards are very much deserved, and we appreciate you coming in here to tell us a little bit about it tonight, Eddie.
Sir,
Okay,
thank you
and
very
pass
much.
that along to the
Congratulations, Eddie.
rest of the people up there too.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
While we are doing a little patting on the back right here, I think this is a good time. We're talking about awards. I really think that we need to, as big a part that this person is of what we do around here, we need to announce officially that one of our own, Terry Bennell, has been inducted into the Kentucky Tennis Hall of Fame. Now, this is not the JV team. This is not the tryouts. He is in the Tennis Hall of Fame, recognizing his significant contributions to the sport of tennis. Now, put this down. There's going to be an induction ceremony on February the 6th at the Louisville Marriott East in Louisville. His induction is a testament to his dedication to advancing tennis in Kentucky as a player, a coach, and a leader. His efforts include organizing leagues, giving tennis lessons, which he's very dedicated at doing for sure, and serving as a tournament director for the W.A. Weldon Tennis Tournament. Terry Bennell's involvement in the Kentucky High School Tennis Coaches Association and his leadership in the Southern Foundation further highlight his commitment to the sport's growth and improvement. The newly reconstructed tennis courts over at Caverna Independent Schools, his alma mater, are named in his honor, reflecting his role in the community's tennis development. Few communities get very many people in the Hall of Fame, but Terry Bennell is going in, and we're proud of you and tickled to death for this wonderful award, Terry. Congratulations. I'm sure we'll have some photo ops coming up here from the February meeting and all that sort of stuff, so that's really good. I like to brag on people because we have some good ones around here for sure. All right, the next thing we need to do is that we have no old business, but we have some new business that we want to talk about right here. Rich, I'm going to let you move forward, and we have some guests here who we might want to include in this discussion, but I'm going to let you kick this off, okay?
Right. Thank you, Mayor. I have prepared a summary for this municipal order, but before I start, I'll say that developers Mark Harris and Kerry Pulliam are here with regard to this next agenda item, and certainly glad to have them with us this evening. And if you all have any questions that might pertain to that during the discussion period, we can allow them to step up and answer any questions that you might have. But what I'll do first is I will read this summary of the municipal order, and then I would like to go through and kind of explain the process so that you all understand that a little bit better. And then if you have any questions during the discussion period, I'm sure we can take those up. But this is a summary of municipal order approving the issuance and sale of industrial revenue bonds for the financing of the Little T LLC apartment project to be located in the city of Glasgow. The city is authorized by state law to assist in financing the acquisition, construction, installation, and equipping of an industrial building through the issuance of revenue bonds. The project involves constructing a senior living facility, increasing residential multifamily housing units by approximately 120 units, which will benefit the community by promoting welfare, reducing unemployment, aiding veterans, and encouraging industrial growth. The city has approved, subject to the council's approval tonight, the issuance of these industrial revenue bonds. Section 1 of the municipal order defines terms to be used in the order, referring to definitions in the lease agreement between the issuer, which is the city, and the company. Section 2, the issuer affirms that the project qualifies for an industrial building under Kentucky law and will be financed with bond proceeds. The designation of the project as an industrial building is defined in the project creating 48 or more housing units. And I'll stop there and say this. In 2025, the Kentucky legislature amended the law with regard to municipal bonds, and it expanded the definition of what's considered an industrial building. An industrial building is now defined, or a subsection of that definition includes a residential development that creates 48 or more housing units. And so while you may not traditionally think of this as a commercial industrial bond issue, under the Kentucky legislative update, this project does fit within what is considered to be an industrial bond issue. Section 3, this municipal order authorizes the city to sell and deliver bonds to finance the project with a maximum amount of $16 million outstanding at any time. Section 4 says that the bonds will be issued according to the bond purchase agreement with specific terms, interest rates, and redemption options, and executed by the mayor and the city clerk. Section 5 states that the bonds will be sold privately on a negotiated basis with the mayor and the city clerk authorized to arrange the sale and delivery. Section 6 says that the mayor and the city clerk are authorized to execute the necessary agreements, including the lease agreement, the assignment, the payment in lieu of taxes agreement, and the bond purchase agreement to secure the bond payments. Section 7 states that the issuer, again the city, commits to paying bond obligations from specific sources and performing all related agreements and covenants. Section 8 states that officers of the city are not personally liable for bond obligations and any personal liability is waived. Section 9 states that the bonds do not constitute a debt of the city and are payable solely from pledged revenues, not from taxes or other general revenues of the city. Section 10 states that if any part of this order is declared invalid, it does not affect the validity of the remaining provisions. Section 11 states that the municipal order was adopted in compliance with open meeting laws, ensuring transparency. And lastly, this ordinance under Section 12 states, the municipal order rather, states that it becomes effective after passage and publication according to law. So now let me kind of explain the process if the council approves this municipal order. If the municipal order is passed, then the developers and the city would finalize the basic bond documents, which would include a lease agreement, a bond purchase agreement, an agreement to pay in lieu of taxes. And so instead of, because as I'll mention in just a moment, while the bond is being retired, the city will hold title to the property, so there will not be traditional property taxes, but there will be payments in lieu of property taxes that will be paid by the developer. That process is also going to require input from the developer's lender, Sicilian Bank, and the developer has closed already with Sicilian Bank on their financing for that. I have a letter of credit from Sicilian Bank, and so essentially what happens is, this is a little bit different than a traditional commercial bond issuance. The developers have their financing in place. The financing will actually purchase the bonds, and so the bonds will be paid when the debt that they have already secured is paid. So there is no liability on the city's part for paying any of these bond obligations. It will all be upon the developer's responsibility. The project will be transferred to the city and leased back to the developer under the lease agreement, and the lease will hold the city harmless from any liability or responsibility for constructing, owning, operating, or maintaining the project. The lease will provide that at the end of the term, the property will then be transferred back to the developer. They'll get title to the property, and then the property will go on the traditional property tax rolls. They'll begin paying property taxes like any other property owner. There will be the payment in lieu of taxes agreement that I mentioned a moment ago, and the revenue bonds will have the city has no liability or obligation to repay those bonds. They're repayable solely by the project's revenues. These bonds do not impact the city's debt position or ability to issue other bonds for any other purpose. And the developer's attorney will bear the responsibility and the cost for making sure that the bonds are issued properly. The fees for the developer's attorney will be paid from the bond proceeds, and it's a cost neutral to the city. So that's the process. This property, if you all are not aware, is off of Cleveland Avenue. It's about 21 acres, I think, right? Off of Cleveland Avenue. As you're going out Cleveland Avenue, before you get to the Johnson property on the right-hand side, this particular property is on the left-hand side just before you get to that property. Again, 100 units, I think, is the anticipated development on this project. So that's kind of the summary and the project in a nutshell, and I'll turn it back over to you, Mayor.
Okay, well, the next thing I'd like to do is to get a motion that we approve this municipal order so we can get it up on the floor for any further discussion. So I'll entertain a motion that we approve this municipal order in tonight's proceedings.
Motion, Benel.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Second from Councilman Neal. We have a motion and a second. Now, let's move to the discussion part. Are there questions about this? Is there any discussion about this that we'd like to have as we go through the process of approving or not approving this from a discussion standpoint?
Is this 48 houses or at least 48, or is it apartments? Or,
Talk about that.
Come on over to the podium right there, okay? And tell everybody who you are.
My name is Mark Harris from Elizabethtown.
Okay.
These are more like patio homes, and they're all flats. There's no steps, all handicap thresholds, and most time you yield more per acre by building up and down 2 to 3 stories. What makes this unique, there's not a step into place. You can go right in and, handicap thresholds on the front door. So I would call more a patio home or apartment also.
Mark, could you speak to us a little bit about other cities that you've done a development like this?
Franklin, Bowling Green, Elizabethtown, Bardstown.
Of roughly the same size?
Elizabethtown.
Okay, all right.
When? Like, this is just recently, because this has just became a law in March, right? So you're...
That's correct, yeah. So we've actually let this project go by the wayside because the cost of building. And Carrie here, Carrie, I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but how we came about this. We were not going to do the project, and I'm going to let Carrie talk about this part because this is why we want to go for it with the project.
Yeah, well, yeah, the reason we ran into this, the industrial revenue bond, the 48 units, and basically we just found out about it because it just happened in April this past year. I think it passed, and so we were looking at it, and basically this industrial revenue bond, because of the tax benefits that come along with it, basically freed us up to be able to, enough on the cash flow standpoint, to be able to finance the project. It's not any secret that, these building costs basically skyrocketed the last 5 years. I think they're up 40% from when we started. And so this just basically became an avenue for us to investigate, to move forward. And we feel like this is where this would make the project go. We a couple of, one of the things, we're not involved in, or we don't develop low-income housing projects, and this gets us away from that. So this allows us to build market-rate apartments without low-income housing restrictions.
And I believe Kevin Might is in the back. Didn't these fellas bring this to the Planning and Zoning Commission for approval about 2 years ago, and you all approved it? So it's kind of been sitting on the shelf until then?
Yes, sir. The development ordinance, Chapter 152 of the Glasgow ordinance code book there, gives a preliminary approval, the extension of 2 years. The developers came back before the Planning Commission in October of this year to ask for an extension of 1 year to begin the project, which is not abnormal. That's part of what we do there. Of course, their plans were stamped by a civil and structural engineer in the state of Kentucky. They met all of the development plan requirements that the City of Glasgow requires, and the Planning Commission thus gave them the extension to begin the process. Preliminary approval, which allows them to move grade and dirt. Final approval would allow them to get building permits. So they haven't applied for any building permits or final approval yet, but I would assume that's probably in the near future.
Does this require a public hearing?
No, it does not. Public meeting?
No public hearing?
No, there's no zone change. All our meetings are open to the public, but there's no public hearing associated with the development plan.
It had to have a public hearing.
Do you have any pictures of what you have built in the past?
No, ma'am, unfortunately, I do not. But, I provide those, if needed.
Since it's, oh, I'm sorry.
What's the exterior look like?
They're just flats, you know, one-story flats.
Since they are just flats, is this more for people with disabilities
No,
or
ma'am.
seniors,
No.
anyone?
No, you know, so, you know, seniors basically fall for 3 reasons, or, you know, and as we all get a little older and everything, even waking up at night is kind of like trying to get your bearings where you're headed. And so main 3 reasons seniors fall because of getting out of bed, trying to get their bearings, they trip and fall. They don't know where they're going. We got light switches, lighted plugs, so it gives them an idea. Hang on, let me get my focus. This is where I'm headed right here. The second is tubs. They fall out of tubs. So these are all some rolling tubs, some just they're more of a handicap tubs. Then the third thing is there's no carpet because a lot of seniors trip on carpet. That's another thing. These have a lot of lighting. As we all know, as once again we get a little older, it's harder to see, and so there's a lot of lighting in these. There's only one door in each unit. We found out that's what seniors want. They want to know who's coming in and out of the house. All they got to do is look directly ahead. They know there's not a back door to worry about, only the front door. And pretty much, and once again, the handicap thresholds are really important because you trip a lot. As you know, your threshold and your door are a little higher, but these are low to the ground.
Are these like 1 bedroom, 2?
Yes, ma'am, 1 bedroom.
1 bedroom.
Yes, ma'am. And 3 old doors. Yeah, open doors where you can get a wheelchair or walker, wherever it's needed. And also they got taller commodes, which is important. Once again, as we get older, we need, you know, we need a little more boost.
Little TLLC, is that just what you guys have named the project?
No, ma'am, that's our LLC. Yeah.
What?
Scenic Lake Apartments.
Oh.
The little T LLC is what is the name of the company that they hold the real estate in. Yep.
Gotcha.
The ones in Bowling Green, where are they located at?
Those are, for the old ones. They're at Russellville, I'm sorry, I mispronounced, Russellville.
Okay.
Yeah, they're by Walmart.
How much will they rent for?
Well, we're hoping that's the key right here. You know, when people say affordable housing, that's wide open. We all could write something different all the way through this room. Market rate, what we see here, we're trying to stay at $800 if we can.
Good discussion.
I got a whole list of questions, but I'll go fast if it's possible. I know. This went to my planning and zoning a couple of years ago, and then I'm assuming you were going to bring it down, but you said you didn't have the financing, so you delayed it until
Well, we
now.
had the financing. We had the financing. We just saw costs kept going through the roof.
All right. So, like with most things, did this go through the finance committee and then they come in with a recommendation, or is it just something that we're handling as a group with just based on the information we have here today? Terry?
No, this matter did not come before the Finance Committee. It's really not an item that we would really look at in the Finance Committee. I mean, it's for the General Council to discuss. I mean, you know, the industrial revenue bond, as we've done for manufacturing, et cetera, it's similar to all of that. What the General Assembly did, as made mention, you know, this year. So it's nothing that we're not approving any of the financing. We're only the conduit. You know, we have no responsibility, no taxpayer responsibility. No responsibility bears upon the citizens of Glasgow. So it's not an item that we have any watch over from that viewpoint.
Like a CDBG, Joe. Like a CDBG grant, we just watch over that, even though this is not a grant. But
So, like he said, this is new to the whole state.
Yes. Yeah.
And before, we've dealt with bonds for industrial.
Yes.
So now we're opening ourselves up for bonds for residential areas and those
Well,
kinds.
there's certain
So is
criteria, though, as the city attorney mentioned. It has to be a certain unit size, and so.
48 or more.
Yeah.
All right. So he's already said the ones that he knows of here in the state. So this location is down on 1297, down near the Johnson property. on the left side of the road?
Yeah, on the left side, right before you get to the Johnson project.
You already talked about, so do you guys work with, in any capacity, housing authority, the state, or anything else? I know he said, I've got my notes here, it says you're not associated with low income. So, I mean, that would be the housing authority, and that would be funding from state and federal. So realistically, you're doing this on your own as a
correct.
separate LLC?
Yeah,
All right.
that is correct.
And it's only said they've already tentatively approved it 2 years ago? Did I hear you say that?
Yes, sir. We got an extension. in
And then you
October.
got an extension to work on it, and then, other councilman asked, I'm gonna be a little bit more specific. Truly, how has this worked in the other cities? Are you at 99% occupancy,
yeah, that-
50%?
Go ahead.
I'm Scott Harris, Mark's brother. So I built the one in Franklin, the one in Russellville. Typically, this is literally us three, but we do private funding through Cecilia Bank. We're personally responsible for all of it. A lot of our tenants, once they move in, it's for most of them, it's the last place they're ever going to live. There's such a big group of people that do not want to go in nursing homes. We have 2 people per unit max rate, occupancy rate. So we usually have a lot of widows, a lot of older married couples. They're little communities. This is a much bigger effort we're doing here in Glasgow because, just run the numbers, and Kerry does all that. There's a big need for it here. We build these things, or I build these things like it's my home. We stainless steel appliances, granite countertops, smooth ceilings, crown mold. They're beautiful units on the inside, and they're nice units on the outside too. But they spend most of their time, I hate to say this, indoors. So we try to make that inside just as nice as we possibly make it for them. I'm over 55, and of course all 3 of us are, and it's a need. It's something we're passionate about, and what we're asking for, this helps get this done. We put this financing in place over a year ago and didn't start it because of construction numbers. It would not cash flow. We could not pay the bank. I couldn't build it. I couldn't make it work. If I built it for free, I couldn't make it work. This will make it work, and this is why we're here. Does that answer your question? Or?
Scott, sorry, I forgot to introduce you at the beginning. Didn't mean to exclude you there.
Anything else, Joe? You in good shape? All right, this is
Do
good.
they have washer and dryers in them?
Yes, ma'am.
Exercise facility or anything like that? No.
Just 4 calls.
How many units are we looking at? We may hit 120.
And more than likely, we do the whole development at once because we have to put all the water and sewer lines and roads in. I build the first 60 as soon as we get those. Every project, how many, a lot of the residents, you get to know them. And
They all have a front porch stoop, and usually they all have a chair up front where they all sit on the front porch stoop. There's a front porch stoop on all these where they have their chairs and talk, and they know anybody and everybody that comes in and out of that road. I mean, they keep an eye on the complex. But you asked if we keep them full. We're limited to 120. If you let us do 240, we'd do it. I mean, they will fill up, guys, because there's a need. But you can't do it if you can't have people afford to go in there to live.
So the size of the lot, you're saying is big enough for you to expand in the future?
It's only up to you guys.
Hold on now.
We're maxed out now at 120. We cannot build, but if you let us do more, we'll do it. Because we know it will go.
Well,
You finished?
Oh, Randy?
Okay. I've had several questions about this. Of course, you've gone through this. City is, there's nothing involved. The city's no liability whatsoever, correct, with the city. Tax money doesn't affect our bonding capacity, nothing. So we can lay that to rest. You said it's already gone through joint planning. Kevin, you said it's already checked that box, correct? No public hearing is needed, correct? Right, okay. And all of the little T's, that was one of my questions. Who is that? And you said the rent is in the ballpark about $800, which is...
We feel like that's where we need to be to make it...
Well, what the medium income, I've talked about this before, is about $42,000 here, and which $3,500 a month, 30% of that's about $1,000. That's what I was wondering where you were. So you're under that, so that will be, it will actually be affordable for several folks. So this all sounds great to the community, to me, so far. The property, the tax part of it, okay, which is great for you, and that's probably what enticed you to do this, because of the bonding you can get out of the property tax. How does the school part of the property tax, is the Barren and Glasgow part of that, how's that work?
That's that payment in lieu of taxes agreement. So they would get together, the county, the city, and the school boards would get together and come up with, and I can't tell you how that's arrived at, but they would come up with a number that would be paid in lieu of taxes while the city has title to the property. And then once the project is done and the bond obligation is paid off, the city would then deed it back to them, and then it would be put back on the tax rolls.
And this is nothing against you guys. I don't know you at all. I do know the local folks that have built around here, and I've been here a long time, and I've seen what has happened. When did these other properties that you've built for the elderly, when were they built?
Different times, over 20 years.
5 years, 20 years ago?
Just different times, starting 20 years ago, up till the last probably 5 years ago. But I tell you what I believe what separates us from a lot of people, and we build them, we own them, and we manage them. A lot of people have somebody build them, somebody else is managing them, and so the owner really doesn't know what's going on. It's important to us. We know what's going on because our money's involved. This is not a government money. This is our money that we worked hard for, and so it's important to us that we keep a good community. And there's not too many people that can say that in this business.
That was a huge concern of mine. Looks good first 2 or 3 years, but 10 years down the road, what's the property look like? And that's really because we can go around town and look at some of where the rental properties are. We know around here who keeps them up, and some places don't keep them up, and that's...
I know what you're talking about. There's a lot of that around the property we own right now.
I understand
What
that.
is it?
Well, we've had other people in the community, and I won't say who, they say, you're building them there. We feel like we're fine because we are going to watch our, we're taking care of the property. And if I'm wrong, I believe, aren't y'all getting ready to start a facility across the street from there? In pretty close, like a community center or fitness center?
There's going to be a lot of development out there, the widening of the road.
Right.
All types of things going on out there.
Right.
Well, I appreciate you coming here to look at this and doing this. I really do. Again, I'm representing the people here in Glasgow and the cities and the builders here that I personally know and see daily or weekly. And, I kind of, honestly, I talked to them today. They didn't even know this thing existed, but they do now. So you may be getting some other phone calls.
We're in the business. We do it every day.
Yeah.
We're not.
Well, they do too. They didn't know about the bonding that passed in April, so that the city can step in there and help that. But
Good.
2 or 3 of them do know.
Yes, sir.
As of today.
Yes, sir.
And so that's I don't want to, I'm looking out for them too.
Sure,
Actually, more than you are.
I do not blame you.
Than I am for you, but I'm glad you're here doing this because we certainly have that need here. Although I don't understand the 1900. Somebody told me that, Kevin. I guess 1900 shortage in housing here in Glasgow, and you look around. There's 300 properties, not not that's going to rent for that, but 300 properties for sale in Glasgow and another 100, so you got about 400. It's available to purchase that still fit the criteria, not the $800 a month and not the single living, what you're trying to do. But again, I still don't understand the 1,900 shortage that they said for Glasgow and Barren County, but appreciate it. Thank you for answering my question.
Yes, sir.
What are some of these properties? What are the names of some of the properties so I can look them up?
Penn Crossing in Elizabethtown, Barstown, Carrie, what's that? Reserve.
Yeah.
Reserve in Bardstown. The Reserve in Bardstown. The project in Russville.
And okay, let's slow down. The Penn Crossing in E-Town, how old is that one?
That was probably 12 years old, and that's
Okay.
60 units.
Okay, and the Reserve in Bardstown, when was that one built?
I'm guessing 8 years ago. 10,
How many units does that one have?
approximately 24 to 30.
And there was one more, is that what you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Franklin, maybe?
Yes, ma'am.
Roseville.
And one in Russville. That's by Walmart.
What is the name of the one in Franklin?
Scenic Lakes here.
Oh, that's what you're going to call this, okay.
Warbrook? Northbrook? Laura Brook? And that one's in Franklin? Yes, ma'am. And that was built when?
5 years ago.
5?
Yes, ma'am.
And how many units?
Just 12. It's 60.
My recommendation, I'm sorry, what did he say, 12 years ago? 5. This was just laid in our lap Friday evening, and we had a huge Christmas parade Saturday, and this is as you can, a lot of people have questions, and we haven't had enough time. I don't feel like, I'll speak for myself, I haven't had enough time to put my thoughts and questions into this. I feel like we should table this maybe for a couple of weeks and think about it and get more information and bring it back up a couple weeks from now. That's just my recommendation.
I invite everybody here, if you'd like to come to Elizabethtown and look at these projects. We've built senior condos before. We have other projects. So if you would like to come and see one of these projects in E-Town, I would love for you to come up and look at it. And I also can send you videos if that didn't work, or pictures like y'all asked for, and I can also do that.
And I appreciate that. I feel like I've had some misinformation here. I was told at first they were homes, and now I'm being told they're apartments, and it's just a lot.
Are they single-family home? Did you say one unit per?
There are 8 places. There's 8 units per.
Oh, 8 play. Okay.
Yeah, and just where you know, and
Do you care to come to the microphone for the people at home?
yeah, it's of course, this goes to affordability too, and everyone's different. Like in Franklin, they were duplexes because that's what it was set up for. But here, they're 8 plexes. They're all 1 story. They're all, on 22 acres, what zone, you could probably build 3 times this amount of units. You could build 300-something units if you guys approved it, of course, or planning and zoning approved it. But when you're building flats and you got to grade it all level, so there's no steps like anywhere on the property, except from the parking lot to the sidewalk. And that's mainly for wheelchairs. So you lose a lot of potential to make money because you got to go out instead of up. It's always cheaper to build up.
Do you not have to have a 2 doors? I mean, isn't that like a fire hazard? What if there's a fire?
All windows in units are egress, fire egress. You have a front door. I've got a video on my phone of a unit. I can send it to you. That's the last ones I built. Let me just sit down and find it real quick.
Okay, we're having discussion, good discussion, but the motion on the floor is to approve this municipal order, and we have a second. So if there's going to be, we need to vote on it, and if we vote it down and somebody wants to make a motion to table it or to revisit it or something like that, but to stay in order, we need to, we have a motion and a second to approve this municipal order. So if there's no other further discussion, then I will call the question on that. Is that?
You're right. I just want to make sure Councilmember Kirkpatrick did reference a motion or a desire, but it was not in the form of a motion.
Correct.
That would need to be done if.
After the motion, yeah.
Yep, so.
Yeah, because we've got it, if there's no more discussion of this particular.
I'm sorry, hang on. No, actually, if you wanted to table this, it needs to be done now.
I'm going to make a motion that we table it.
Okay, so is there?
Have to have a second.
I have to have a second,
Yeah.
but
Right.
what I'm thinking about from the standpoint of Robert's rules, we've already got a motion on the table.
But a motion to amend takes precedence
Okay, all right.
over the motion.
Well, then let's see if we have a second to table it. Is there,
This takes two readings, it's not going to be.
it's a one reading.
Okay.
Yes, one reading.
I'm saying
So we have now a motion to table this for more information to be gathered by anybody that wants to go get some more information together. So if we want to vote on tabling it, I would need a second.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I keep interrupting you.
Sorry.
Is your motion, a motion to table, will it table it indefinitely? Are you asking that it be suspended to a date certain?
I am.
Okay.
If we could just have a couple more weeks at like our next council meeting to bring it back up. So table it.
So it would be a motion to reconsider it at the January meeting? Oh, we got another one, December.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay, to the. That'd be, okay, so Mayor, it's a motion to reconsider at the 22nd meeting.
All right. So we can, if Joe, you look like you're going to say something.
I guess so everyone understands, this isn't like our regular ones where we're having the first meeting and then we're having the second meeting on it. This is just a municipal order.
Yeah.
And one
Yes,
time.
once you vote on it today,
Yes.
we're voted.
Yeah, it's
a
not,
lot
it's not
different
an
than-
ordinance. An ordinance, we vote
No,
twice.
we're not really, this is not really, say the right word, this is not, we're trying to accommodate somebody trying to do something, we're not doing something.
All right, so I'm going to say that I'm going to be in support of helping these men out because we do need housing for the elderly. And I'm one of them, so if I get to stuttering, I might need to be in one of those houses soon. But I also agreed that it was a lot of information to work with today. So I'm going to second her motion so that we have this spring up on the next meeting. And then from there, again, I'm already saying that unless something that takes me away from it, I'm going to vote for it.
All right, so we
Since
have.
this has already passed planning and zoning, correct?
Yes, it
Okay.
has. It's a go. It's just that, and this is the way that from my angle, today, this day, in Kentucky, there are 206,000 too few homes. The state, in their wisdom, says we got to figure out some way to inspire people to build housing that's affordable. So they said, yeah, we do so much. Look at all these industries that all these people have. The industrial bonds help that happen. All they were doing is saying, let's just do that with some of the residential funding. And you can tell what those two guys just said is that, we couldn't have done it without the state government saying, we can make it more affordable for you to build it. And I just think that's where we are.
So I'm going to second.
All right, so we have a motion to table the proposed municipal order until the December the 22nd, and we have a second to table it until December the 22nd. Okay, and it will have to come back in the form that we are tabling it to. So you'll look at this, anything about this municipal order that you're curious about, and you want to go get some more answers on it, but the way that it's done, this is the way it's going to be whenever we get it up here to vote, one way or the other. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, well, we got to vote first.
Okay, I'm just making sure there's no more, we have a motion and a second, any further discussion before I call the question?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to have some discussion on the motion to table.
Okay.
What's before us this evening is relating to the issuance of the sale of $16 million industrial revenue bond. We're not here to discuss the planning, the development. That's already been done. We're not here to talk to them about their rents. We're not here to talk about anything related to the project other than industrial revenue bonds. The city attorney has explained to us how the bond project works. We, as a city, representing the taxpayers of the city of Glasgow, they have no responsibility. We have no responsibility on this project. The entire responsibility for this project lies with the developers, these gentlemen that are in the room with us tonight. All they're using us for is a way to help finance the project that's been passed by the General Assembly. Now, if there are other people in this community, which I hope they would, stand up and do this, that would be wonderful. But we have people here in our audience tonight that have already committed to do this. They've got their own money, their own reputation at risk. They've seen a need for it. So tonight, what we're looking at is how can the city help move this forward? And that's what we're doing. We have zero risk. We know there's a need in this community for this type housing. So tabling it adds no value to this. This just puts delay. This costs them because there's a delay involved in it. It's not going to change 2 weeks from now. The industrial bond that we would approve, they've still got all their financing in place for that. It's a bond program, so they're on the line. All their investors that buy the bonds are the ones on the line. The city is, again, just the conduit through which all this works. So as a governing body, all that we're trying to do is help them invest in our community for the well-being of our citizens. So that's what's before us tonight. We're not talking about, what's the exterior look like. Well, that's planning and zoning. We don't do that. Okay? That's not our job that we do. Where they build it, that's not our job. Planning and zoning looks at all of that. Our job to see if this makes sense and does it work in the city for the best interest of the city of Glasgow.
No
That's what I'm
disrespect.
asking you to do.
No disrespect, Councilman Bennell, but I need 2 more weeks to see if it
No.
makes sense to me.
But you've got to then, if you're going to study this, you have to study this from the standpoint of what is an industrial revenue bond passed by the General Assembly to promote housing in the Commonwealth of Kentucky as the role and the obligation of the city of Glasgow. That's what's before us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's before us. So and the city attorney has done a great job explaining that. And we've looked at industrial bonds before. And so this is akin to that type of investment. So here we are, and if we be 2 weeks behind, that'll cost them 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks that they've wasted because they can't start the process.
They've waited 2 years.
But the timing is always very, very important because now they have investors lined up and they're ready to move forward. And so that's why time is of the essence. It's their money that's at risk, and we're benefiting the citizens of Glasgow by participating in this and opening it up for other people as well. You've got to remember there's always the multiplier effect in this. We get a unit like this in housing in Glasgow. We draw people that probably don't live in Glasgow right now that may be residents of this. They come and they spend their money in our community. It multiplies, and we've got to understand that. So if we want our community to continue to expand, we've got to open up and help people invest in our community. And this is a great effort. This is a great effort. I applaud your efforts on this, 100%. Okay? 100%. This is what it takes to grow a community. People putting their own money at risk. No government money is involved in this.
And Terry, I agree with you. The only difference between this and I think the industrial ones is the city and the county and everybody else, we know what every so-called quote-unquote industrial building looks like. When we go to do the bonding for all of these buildings, these industrial sites that we put our time and effort and gave them the bonding money, we actually build spec buildings for them, and there are a whole bunch of things. So again, I think where the concern is on Councilman Kirkpatrick's part, on mine, and maybe others is, this is new. This is the first one. We'll get through this process. I don't think there's nobody that's going to be against it. It's just it's new, and it's come as a little bit of it's new. And it's a change in thought process, and it really doesn't fit into the same mode as industry. I agree with you 100%, Terry, on everything you said. I'm just saying that it happened so fast that it's caught us off guard.
I mean, okay, and we're not here to debate how we manage us as a city council, but there's been a public meeting, open meeting, we can call it public or not, but the planning and zoning, they looked at this. Did we all attend that meeting? So we are got to become aware of what's happening in the city, and so when something like this is coming to us, then we're aware of what's down the road for us. From a strategic standpoint, the Commonwealth of Kentucky has laid out how cities can develop projects. This fits right in with that, and all we're asking again is to do. There's nothing at risk for a taxpayer in the city of Glasgow. Nothing at risk. Nope. So if you say there's nothing at risk, but the benefit cost, let's do a benefit cost analysis. Does the benefit outweigh the cost? It does. And so why would we not support a project that moves us forward?
Terry, were you aware of this?
I was aware of it
before Friday?
When I went through the agenda, and I studied it over the weekend. I've talked to people. So it's a project that we all know how industrial bonds work for us. It's the same as that. So it's no different. It just happens to be a residential complex versus a manufacturing facility. That's the only difference. You just put a different name in front of it. But the concept is the same for the city's liability. It's the same liability, which there's no liability. So there's nothing more for us to consider other than what's before us is, does this meet the criteria of the Commonwealth of Kentucky? If it does, that's it. There's no more discussion.
Let me say it a different way, and I'm just sitting here from the standpoint of abiding by the rules. We're tabling what's in front of us, but when we come back in 2 weeks, all we can consider is what's in front of us. You can't say, I don't like that. We'll change that. We are just putting into law what the Planning and Zoning Commission approved almost 2 years ago. So if you're not comfortable with what they did 2 years ago and want to study it, that's all well and good. If you think you can come back and make some change that's in it, we can't do that because this was approved by Planning and Zoning, so that is what's on the table.
And we have Matt, you want to say something here? Help us here.
Kevin, come up here, Kevin, help us out.
Verify a couple of things first and foremost. The zoning classification was there prior to them applying for the development plan. It is zoned R4, which is our highest density residential development that we have in our city. They applied under the confines of what our development plan ordinance is and the zoning ordinance statement with regards to how many units per the net acre is permitted on that site. There's some site constraints that I think that the individual has already spoke about with regards to having everything on one level. So when you talk about the Planning Commission approving this, the Planning Commission approved the development plan. They do not submit IRBs or any of that other stuff, financing. That is not the Planning Commission's role nor responsibility to make sure that they finance it. That is on them as a private entity, no different than any others. So the Planning Commission approved the development plan that met all of the minimum requirements in the city of Glasgow that was put on there. The zoning classification is appropriate for high-density residential use, and as I said prior, the plans were stamped, approved, and sent on for preliminary development for that grading to begin processing. Final development plans will still have to come to the Planning Commission. I would go further to say this: the city of Glasgow has no design standards. There is no design standards that says they have to look this way and they got to look this way. All right? We don't get that authority to do that here without that ordinance being in place. The Planning Commission is not given that authority to say it has to look a certain way. That is not set. So just so you know that they can look in any shape, fashion, or anything that they want to. They provide a residential service here. They'll have to meet the Kentucky Building Code, which our building inspectors will verify to make sure they do. And the development itself will be inspected by my office to make sure that they are putting in the roadways necessary, the sidewalks necessary, the drainage is correct, and those things. Site constraints alone is what pushes this into the 120 category as far as units that they're speaking to. So I just wanted to verify a few of those things that you need to be aware of. Planning Commission approved the development plan. That's as far as it goes for us.
Kevin, just to clarify, if they were not using the bonding process that is allowed through the IRBs, we would have no other information about this property because it would never come to us because they've done their due diligence as contractors in an LLC. So without the bond, we wouldn't know anything about this because it's not in our wheelhouse.
Yes, other than you're aware of the public meetings that the Planning Commission has, and that's it. But yes, that is correct. They meet the minimum
Like
standards.
any single dwelling house that would be built.
Yes,
we
that's
don't
correct.
get notification of how much they're paying and what they're going to do with it.
Yes, ma'am.
Which I agree with that, but sitting out there, you're asking for this, to approve this bond. I'm sure this is going to be helpful for you to get this done, correct? If it does, but you would continue on without, I mean, that's what I'm saying, so.
We were not doing without this.
Right, okay, so that is very important what we approve, but I also agree with you two over there. This throwing them, and I've worked all day long trying to call people to find out about you guys and see how legit you really are, I'll be honest with you.
I can tell you this, they don't give a loan that size to many people because we're not legit.
We did bring a letter from the bank.
Well, and again, I haven't seen any of your work, I mean, again, I know I don't have any say, but my question was what it looks like 10 years from now. And you said it, you know, what you're out there, I understand out there. I did a lot of work and spent a lot of time out in that area. But, you know, that's the only thing that bothers me. You know, I want to make sure 10 years from now y'all have kept up. You know, and, you know, it's 2 weeks. Heck, I'm sitting here looking at a swimming pool that was July 1st. We were going to get in that and the sustainable. So I can't imagine 2 weeks is going to completely destroy waiting until next week and give some of us, you send a video and send a picture.
Well, this is a private group, and they're ready to go to work right now.
I understand.
They're ready to go right now.
They
don't
are
have
if
to
we
wait.
approve this.
Right, but they're ready to go right now. They're not in a chain of government.
He just said they were not going to do it unless we approve it.
Well, exactly, but they're ready to go to work right now.
And I'm sorry, I said
Put
this
him on the
earlier.
pool.
You know, we did get financing over a year ago, and like I said earlier when I was up here, we cannot afford to build this without this. And that's why we're going through this process. When this came up in May, you know, we had let the development plan lapse because we're just going to shelf it and move on. Now with this, we don't have to shelve it. If we can get this help from the city, which costs you zero, we can go forward with it. You know, and we're just trying to not only help ourselves, but we're trying to help the city, the citizens of Glasgow and Barren County. You know, these units do make a difference everywhere we built them. You know, and we've never done one this size, but I guarantee you there's a need for them, and we're just asking for a little help.
Mayor, is it in
Did I? Go ahead, Freddie, I'm sorry.
I was just saying, Mayor, is it in order to call the question?
Well, if the discussion is over with, I would call the question. Is there any further discussion?
I just have one other question. Did I hear you correctly say if we don't help that you're not going to move forward?
We've already let it. We already let it.
Well, yeah, if we can't get this, probably what would make this project work probably is a low-income housing project. Yeah. And this will probably be sold to somebody that's going to develop a low-income housing project. We're not low-income housing project developers. That's not what we do. But that would be probably our exit. We'll sell it to somebody that'll do that.
Yeah. I would like to say one more time, I keep hearing, are you legit? banks aren't giving this size loan if you're not legit, if you know anything about banking or financing. They don't just say, hey, oh, yeah, we'll give it to you. No, we've been doing this 30 years. We have a great reputation. And so anybody can build anything tomorrow and say anything they want and make you feel good. I mean, that's nothing. You know, people build a house every day, then they put a pool in the backyard. I mean, I'm just saying, you don't get this size loan because you're not legit. Now, keep hearing that word legit.
And I would, just to follow up on that, I think I told you all this, but this organization works with a very reputable firm in Louisville. I know that firm. I've seen the letter of credit. I've got it in my possession from Sicilian Bank. So they're not just saying that. I've got a letter from the bank that says that they have that financing. So I just wanted to share that bit of information.
All right. Any other discussion? Then I will call the question.
This is a motion to amend.
This is the
Or,
motion.
excuse me, a motion to table.
To table. Motion to table. And do I need to do that voice vote or roll call?
How would you? Yeah. What do you want?
Let's do the roll call, and if we're going to table this for 2 weeks and come back to this exact same order in 2 weeks, while everybody has a chance to either feel better about it or to not feel good about it, that's what we're looking at. So, clerk, if you will call the roll.
Norris?
No.
Lowry?
No.
Bennett?
No.
Shoemaker?
No.
Wilkinson?
Yes.
Kirkpatrick?
Yes.
Trigg?
Yes.
Burris? No.
Neal?
No.
It's 3 yeses, so.
With 3 yeses and 6 noes, so
Yeah, so we're voting.
the amendment did not pass. So we're back to where we were. We are not tabling it, so Mr. Legal person, we'll go back to where we were.
Correct. Now that the motion to table failed, you still have a motion and a second on the floor, the main motion to approve the municipal order.
Okay, so we have the main motion to approve, and we've had lots of discussion on that, but I will call the question. If there's no further discussion on the main motion, then we will call the question, and we will have a roll call vote on that.
Kirkpatrick?
No.
Shoemaker?
What are we voting on again? I'm sorry.
This is a motion to approve the municipal order as read.
Oh, yes.
Bennell?
Yes.
Trigg?
Yes.
Neal?
Yes.
Burris?
Yes.
Yes.
Norris? Wilkinson?
Yes.
Lowry?
Yes.
It passed with 8 yeses.
We have 8 yeses and 1 no, and so the municipal order is approved. And as we've mentioned in earlier parts of the discussion, there's not a second reading on this type of an order.
Correct. There will be a publication requirement because when you deal with bonds, even though this is a municipal order, there will be a publication requirement. But again, in working with their attorney, we'll get that taken care
There
of.
a certain time period that it has to be done by?
No, I mean, it just next publication period with the paper, so.
All right. Well, very good. Well, thank you all. It's really good discussion. I think that we've taken enough time to understand what's before us, and I don't ever want to discourage that from people. If we set up here and we voted unanimously every time, one way or the other, we wouldn't really be doing our job. So I'm glad for all of the discussion. It's very, very helpful. Another item on the agenda, let's see, Lucas Tinsley is here because our next item on the agenda is an ordinance amending certain provisions of the Glasgow Fire Department Standard Operating Guidelines. Now, do you want to tell us what those certain requirements are? Or certain changes, I guess is the word? What now? Oh, Rich needs, do you have a summary of that?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Well, I've got the municipal order, and then
Okay.
he can.
Okay, go ahead.
This is a municipal order amending certain provisions of the Glasgow Fire Department Standard Operating Guideline. It is hereby ordered by the City Council that the Glasgow Fire Department Standard Operating Guideline, sometimes referred to as SOG, is hereby amended as follows. Paragraph 1, the chain of command structure is amended to include Lieutenant Unit 7 to shifts 1, 2, and 3 as highlighted on Exhibit A attached here 2. Paragraph 2, SOG regarding uniforms and PPE, I guess that's personal protection equipment. Section 102, pages 9 through 13 is amended as highlighted on Exhibit B attached here 2. Paragraph 3, SOG regarding injury reports, Section 106, page 20 is amended as highlighted on Exhibit C attached here 2. Paragraph 4, SOG regarding holdover, callback, call-in guidelines, Section 125, page 50 is amended as highlighted on Exhibit D attached here 2. Paragraph 5, SOG regarding employee selection, promotion policy, awards, and recognition, Section 130, page 59 is amended as highlighted on Exhibit E attached here 2. Paragraph 6, SOG relating to Fire Department Safety Program, NFPA 1500, Section 131, page 62 is amended as highlighted on Exhibit F attached here 2. And lastly, SOG relating to the hose lay procedures, that's Section 211, page 94, is amended as highlighted on Exhibit G attached here 2.
All right, you have heard Rich's summary of that. Well, first of all, I'm going to entertain a motion that we approve this change in the fire department operating procedures.
Motion, Lowry.
Is there a
Second,
second?
Bunnell.
Second, Bunnell. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion about this or anything you would like to ask Chief Tinsley as a part of the discussion? Or do we just want to call Joe?
Chief, I got a quick question for you. Since you put it on the first page of your new SOP or SOG, is I guess SOG, very standard operating procedure, but that's not. So you got a flow chart in there. Does that reflect your manpower or the current number of authorizations you have, or is that based on what you actually have?
That is our current approved list of manpower and rank, and
so that would be 44 if I'm adding these numbers up, adding these positions up. So this is the total number of positions you have, even though they may not be filled on your chart.
it should be 13 per shift, correct? That's what you're
13 per
counting?
shift and
then
39 and
three
then-
three command staff and one administrative assistant. 43 personnel? 43 personnel. Yes, sir.
All right, any other discussion? There being none, I will call the question. All in favor of approving this policy change indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. It is approved. All right, at this point, I will, look in your packet, there's a list of pending appointments that we will be voting on our next meeting, so just be sure and read those and make sure that you're well informed of that when it comes up for discussion. And I will now entertain a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
All right, all in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. Thank you all for being here. Good meeting.